The problem is you're giving way too many fucks about people, situations, and things that are completely out of your control. My guess is you're an overgiver with a giant heart, and your fucks come from a good place, but they're also hurting you in many ways. And when we give too many, we then have none left for our dreams and for ourselves, and the stuff that fills our happiness cup. This used to be me, and once I reclaimed those fucks for myself and became extremely discerning over who I gave my fucks to, several wild, unexpected things drastically shifted in my life for the better, and I'll be sharing those with you today. If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it. But first, I want to make sure you are signed up for my famous 3-day live training, which is completely free, 3 days to make bank. It's backed by popular demand. Thousands and thousands of people have taken 3 days to make bank and have gotten incredible results. And I charge nothing. And this is valued at $25,000. Literally, this is how much money corporations pay me to do this training series for their employees, for their clients, to get massive growth in their business and a great increase in their sales. Day one, how to stand out in an oversaturated industry and have ideal clients thinking of you first. Day two, learn my proven technique for creating content that sells for you around the clock so you don't have to. Day three, how to handle the dreaded I can't afford it and I have to check with my husband objections. Go sign up. Link is in the show notes, or you can go to projectmewithtiffany.com/make bank. This is live, so the seating is limited, and I am only doing it this time all year. This is your only chance to do this live event. Go share it with friends, people on your team, family members, your crazy cousin. Get in there. It'll be the most fun that you've had of any training, and I can guarantee that. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and there is a new study out that shows out of millions and millions of people, 100% of them are giving way too many fucks. It's true. We all get like this and give too many, which is why I've incorporated the zero fucks given into the ProjectME brand. And it's for my own life as well. And I have stickers that are made that are super cool. And I have sweatshirts and all this swag. And we will maybe be selling them in the future. But as of right now, you have to be in one of my high-level programs in order to get them. But I have the sticker that's on my coffee mug that says zero fucks given at ProjectME with Tiffany underneath. And I walk around with this coffee cup everywhere around town, wherever I'm going. And the reactions are fascinating because I forget that the sticker's on there. So it's one of two reactions that happen. Either I get people going, laughing, like, I love that, like, hell yes, like, they get it. Where it's like, and I know what they mean. There's someone who used to give too many and they're fucking done with it. And you can just see it. And it's men and women who do it. It's amazing. And I love that. And we give each other kind of that nod. We've made it to the other side. And then there's people who get really upset by it. It's really fascinating. Where they'll judge me. They kind of do, like, they shake their head, like, how crude of her to have that on there, or what's that, or that means that I'm being uncaring. I can kind of, as an empath, sense their vibe. I've had people say, it's good to give. It's good to give fucks. And I said, yes, it is. It's good to give fucks about select things. That is true. Well, you're saying zero fucks given. I said, yes, it's in context. Giving zero fucks to things that no longer serve me, that aren't healthy, that aren't supportive, that aren't worth my time or energy or money, and being much more discerning about what we give that to. And I said, there's a lot more to it. She's like, it doesn't come across that way. Interesting. That's my reply. Feel free to take it. When someone says something crazy to you, it's really a benign way to say fuck off. Just kind of go, oh, interesting, or that's interesting. And depending on my mood, it might depend on my tone, but it's greatly effective because I also don't want to continue the conversation with this person. So it generally stops. But we care too much about about things that don't matter. It's not that you caring about stuff, people, places, situations, circumstances, world events, money, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean that's a bad thing that you care. It's just caring too much or even caring at all about stuff that you can't control, that you really can't change. And there's not much more you could do to even manage the situation. Some of you need to give zero fucks about some people in your life because it's their life and you're trying to manage it and you're trying to mother it and you're trying to manipulate it. And it doesn't matter that it's coming from a good place and you want the best for someone and you see their potential, and it could be your own adult child. But it's draining your life force and it's not really helping other people. You might feel like it is, but it's not. It's enabling. And the empowerment and the energy that we get back when we are much more mindful about the fucks we distribute. So here's a fun thing that I do with my private clients. I want you to visualize a select number of fucks that you have to start every single day with. Some people need to have a physical representation. So you can take like Sharpies, you can take crystals, you can take any kind of an object. Some people have done like paper clips where you can get paper clips. I mean, just you might not know this, but I like paper clips that are in the shape of things. So we had paper clips made that were gold money signs for my mastermind. You can get ones that are hearts. So paper clips could be a fun thing. Make it fun for yourself. And if you wanted to do this, and you don't have to use the word fucks with your kids, but you wanted to teach this to other people in your house, you could also do it with Skittles or M&Ms or something like that. So start with an amount. You only have so much energy in a day. You cannot create much more of it. Yeah, you can do all this biohacking. You can take good care of yourself. You can drink water, but really you only have so much energy, and we all have different life circumstances and scenarios and hormone levels that change that. So that's all you've got. And we know we can't get time back. So if we don't create a limitation, a boundary around a number of fucks, we're going to have a problem because we're going to end up left with not any for ourselves. So I want you to start with whatever it is. Maybe you start with 8, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 5. Come up with a number that, feels good to you. And you always have permission to change this. This isn't set in stone. And go, okay, I know I only have 5 solid fucks. I only have 5 solid fucks to distribute today. How do I want to distribute these? Some people also do this with $100 bills or euros, like they do it with money because money's such a powerful energy, and it makes people go, God, if I have this amount to distribute in a day, I want to be very, very careful about it because it's money. They put that attachment to it. So what I would love for you to do is the first fucks you give need to be to yourself every morning. And it sounds crazy. It's going to sound extra crazy to those of you who have kids or even a significant other. It's like, oh my God, well, it should go to them. If I was a good mother, if I'm a good father, if I'm a good partner, it should go to them. No, you need to have it go to you first. So we should have the first fuck is distributed to you. Some people give themselves 2 of their 6 fucks to themselves. I give half. So half always has to go with me first. And I catch myself because I'll want to go reply to an email, or I'll want to do something on Instagram, or I'm like, oh, I could bang out this really quickly. No. It must go to myself. That's why my morning routine and me working out in the morning, me doing all these things in the morning, I give to myself first, because then my energy is at the fullest and I have more to give other people than anything else that's remaining. I can give much more easily from a sincere, genuine place, not from a place where I have hidden expectations or unhidden expectations, where then we're set up for resentment and all these other things. So I give half. That doesn't mean you have to. You determine your amount, and then you can start doling it out. So let's say, like the other day, I had one of those mornings, which we've all had, where it just like starts out wild. And the coffee maker exploded. I have no idea how that happened. There was like coffee grounds everywhere. And I was like, and there was no coffee for me to drink, which is never good. Okay, do I want to give a fuck to that? Do I really want to give one of my 6 fucks to this coffee maker? Is it really that important for me to be that stressed about it? So I really said that to myself. No, I don't. So instead, yeah, it had to be cleaned up. Did I enjoy doing that? Of course I didn't. But I left it at net neutral. Okay, whatever. We're cleaning it up. Don't know how this happened. Very weird. Maybe it needs to be descaled, whatever. Then my house manager, Jackie, came and got me downstairs and was saying she needs to show me something, which is usually not good. And under the sink, there is a major leak in the kitchen sink. And then that had to be dealt with. And I asked myself again, do I really want to give a fuck to this? One of my precious fucks to this. And I was like, okay, what a pain in the ass. And then I started laughing, and then she started laughing. So we're like, we got the coffee maker, we got this going. We started laughing, and I didn't give much energy to it. I kept it at net neutral. Yes, there's a phone call that had to be made to make sure that this got fixed. Then I reminded myself how fortunate I am that I have the freedom options to have a house manager, because I didn't even have to bend down and clean it. So what a wonderful situation that is. Then I go about my day, and then I get a message coming in from, I have more than one CPA, which I don't want to, and I started to want to give a fuck about that. Who the hell has more than one CPA? Who has more than one lawyer? I'm paying all these people. My brain started spinning out with that. Well, guess what? When you're in the game of life and you're in the game of business and you're rolling in the cash and you're making moves and doing big things, yeah, you're going to have bigger teams of people and you're going to have more overhead. And that's part of the game. And what a great thing. And you're going to have to pay a lot more taxes. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it. And that's part of the game. So I was like, I don't want to give a fuck to that. And then I got a text from one of them saying, you owe $6,000 more in employment taxes for my other business. And I was like, how did that happen? Because my theory is I would rather overpay my taxes than underpay, because then you get like these penalty payments and all this stuff. And I don't want any drama. So I was like, how did this happen? So it required a phone call, and it required a phone call that afternoon. Did I really want to deal with that? Does it feel fun to have to pay even more when I just paid out so much more and I'm already paying monthly taxes? And then it just felt like all I'm doing is paying people. And then I got the bill for my most recent taxes being done in my bookkeeping. So it was another $5,500. And I was like, oh my God, I just feel like all I'm doing is like paying and fixing, and it's not even noon. And I'm like, I'm giving maybe almost the remainder of my fucks away to this. How important is this really? Is this really helping me by giving more fucks into this? Is this really serving me? Is this bringing me more joy? Is this bringing me more wealth? Is this bringing me more connection and support and abundance in my life? Is this bringing me more peace? Well, if the answer is no, then it does not get to have any fucks. So I was like, you got that. This is how discerning I want you to be. And you're not going to be perfect about this all the time. You're going to slip, and that's okay. And that's why I like using physical, actual things. Some people put it in a glass jar or like some kind of a see-through cup or a container, because then you can really see what you're doing and then learn and make adjustments. Because what I don't want you to do is go, Tiff, I gave all of my fucks away by 10 a.m. and now I'm giving any remaining leftover fucks I have to the fact that I gave all my fucks away. And I was like, oh my God, no. That just shows how insane we are. That shows how to take ourselves out of feeling good. We rob ourselves of so much mental bandwidth and energy that could be poured into these other things and areas in our lives that we want to develop, because we're giving too much away to things that don't yield any return. And I don't mean like return like, oh, if I'm going to like pick up the phone and talk to a friend, I better get something back. I don't mean it in that way, but it's like, yeah, if you're picking up the phone and you're spending 2 hours even on a phone with a friend who's going through a hard time, I think that is something that you might want to give a fuck to, because you have the connection, you have the intimacy, that relationship's important to you, you're being of service. And if that is a good, healthy person in friendship, it's reciprocal. So that, to me, in my opinion, would be worthy of that. If you found out that, I don't know, let's say your sales page is broken and you're in the middle of a launch, yeah, I would say that deserves a fuck or two. Not all of them, but it deserves one or two so that you can get on it and fix it, so you don't lose money and you don't lose your mind. So use it as almost like a little bit of a loose game, right? Don't wear it too tightly to where you're strangled by it. But it's going to at least help shift your mind on, is this really that important? Most stuff is not. And even if it is that someone is dying, when my father was dying of pancreatic cancer, you could easily say that deserved all of Tiffany's fucks every day. That's not a good plan. And anyone who's lost someone or is currently a caretaker for someone, it's incredibly draining. And I was giving all my fucks to that. And I was like wasting away. I was a disaster. And I ended up having to pull it together. I'm an only child. Like there was a whole other scenario with it. And I had to drive about 45 minutes to an hour to get to the hospital where he was in hospice. So I shifted what I was doing, and I didn't get there till about noon every day. I had to sleep until seriously 10:30 every day. I had to sleep almost 12 hours a night. I was that tired because that's how I was processing the heaviness and grief. And that's okay. Did it still get a majority of my fucks? Yes. But I shifted it and made sure that a strong percentage of those were brought to me first and my well-being. Because here's what would happen. If I kept going at that rate and giving out to that level, I could end up picking up some germs at the hospital, getting sick, then not be able to go visit my dying father because I have a cold or a sinus infection. And then my dad could have died without me right next to him, which is what happened. I was there for his last breaths because I made sure I took care of me first, and I caught myself and I had to course correct. So this goes for even heavy situations like that. This goes for your business. You really want to grow your business and scale your business so you can bring more freedom options and life-changing cash to yourself and to your family and have a legacy and help people and feel fulfilled and abundant and joyous and free. And you want to do that? Yeah, you're going to have to give some fucks to that if you want it. You can't give very little and then expect to have amazing results on the other end. So you're going to have to set some boundaries with people. You're going to have to say, no, I can't just go to this other birthday party. No, I can't bake this cake for cousin Louie's bar mitzvah or whatever the hell it is. Like, I can't just go pick this up. No, I can't cook each individual specific meal for each kid in this house and a spouse. I can't do that anymore. Any of you moms or dads who are listening and doing that, unless you have a child that has truly special needs and allergies, this is out of control when I hear this, where it's like, well, Sarah only eats spaghettis and Johnny only eats chicken tenders. And so you have to cook different meals for people. And then you end up eating the remnants and feeling like shit and feeling inflamed and feeling bloated and feeling resentful and feeling like a line cook, and then having no energy and no creative bandwidth to pour into growing your business because you're a freaking line cook in your house. You're giving way too many fucks about something that there can be a boundary around, and things can be shifted in order to serve the greater good of the family unit at whole and to serve your own greatest good. Women especially have this issue where we deem everything as urgent, everything as a priority, everything as important, everything as a must do and must get done. And if everything is on fire and if everything's that much of a priority, you're going to run around like a crazy person. I used to do that, and there's like a high that comes off it. It's like that negative excitement high from the inner drugstore, the adrenaline. There's almost even a feeling of like superiority in a way. I have all these important things that I have to do. But then it switches very quickly to resentment. Doesn't everyone see what I'm doing? No one appreciates me. I'm doing everything. If I'm not doing it, it won't get done. And it turns into that. Well, if you're in that kind of a spot where you feel unappreciated, you feel kind of haggard, things don't feel like it's working, you're not having fun doing it, you do have a lot of like anger and resentment that's kind of seething, and you feel like you're always the glue for everything in your life and in your family, great sign there that you're giving way too many fucks. And a lot of people, I used to do this as well. It's a codependent thing. Wearing this like a badge of honor. Great. That's going to be on your tombstone someday, you know? Yep. Beth gave so many fucks that she died 10 years early of heart disease because she was so stressed out and didn't have any time to take proper care of herself. Let's honor her for this. But we forget about that. Stress is the number one cause of disease, and we are the number one cause of our own stress. It's pure insanity. And yeah, things are going to come up. You're going to go sideways on this, and give yourself some damn grace while you're doing this, but at least give this effort of you have only so much in the bank, in the fucks bank. Okay. And what are you going to do with that? You can't go borrow fucks. That doesn't work like that. You can't make someone else give a fuck. Believe me, that is one of the things that I have to work really hard on. Because I want more than what other people want for themselves or are willing to do for themselves. And I can do this with clients. I can do it with total strangers. I can do it with people close to me, where I just am like, but why wouldn't you want this? Look what's right here. You only have to focus on this and you can get it. Why wouldn't you do this for yourself? And then I'm giving so much of my fucks to trying to get someone else to care. And that's not my job. And that's not my business. And that's not being a motivator. That's not being a leader. A leader leads by example and empowers. A leader does not drag people along. A leader does not shove someone into something, coerce or manipulate or manage or mother someone into something. A leader shows up and says, this is here for you. This is how you can get here. I'm here to help you as long as you step and you lean in and you're humble, willing, and open. I am here to show you and guide you the way. And I'm here as an example, as proof that this is possible and you're powerful and you have it in you. But I can't make you do it. That's not my job. In fact, I'd be doing a disservice, and so are you. A disservice to everyone around you, everyone you can influence, by pouring that energy into these people. Then you end up having a lot of takers and energy vampires and clinger honors in your life, in your business, in your client list, in your downline, with your employees. You end up with a lot of those people, and you wonder why you're so exhausted and you don't feel supported, because you're collecting a bunch of like broke down catfish. That's not our business for someone to make the choice within themselves to rise. Our business is by us showing up in our greatest possible selves, setting ourselves up for that, focusing on our growth. And then the people who have it in them, who will rise, and then we're there for that support. But we don't have to drag them up the mountain. That's not our job. It's not. It's to walk alongside. Maybe we're a couple steps ahead. Maybe we're already at the top. In some cases, I'm at the top of that summit, and I'm telling you guys, here's video and pictures from up here. It's worth it. This shit is good. And I've trailed a path. There's a couple paths you can take. There's option A, B, C, and D, because I'm crazy and I love options. So there's multiple options. I've done each route. This route's good for this type of person. This route's good for you if this way. This route's good for you this way. And it all gets you up here. Some of the routes will get you here faster, some slower. Here are the pros and cons. But here's what's up here. You want this. But here's what you got to do to get it. You still got to climb. I'm not going to spend my time creating years and years of infrastructure of an escalator so that you don't have to climb to the top. You still got to climb. You've got to put in the effort, because this is part of the process. Anyone who gets on an elevator to the top or takes an escalator to the top, those are the people who go broke very quickly and don't last, because they don't really appreciate it. Those are the people where you see in those family businesses that the kids were passed down this family business and it's just run immediately into the ground. They just don't care. It was just handed to them. They have no appreciation for it. You see this a lot with child celebrities, child actors, because they've had it. They don't know any other way of not having it. So they don't appreciate it, blows up. This is why 80% of the people who win over $1 million in the lotto go bankrupt within 18 months. You're going to climb. I want you to climb. And once you get to the top, or even close to the top, you'll see why you had to climb. But that doesn't mean you have to climb the path that's dangerous with pitfalls and snakes and where you're going to break a leg. You don't have to do that. You get to choose multiple paths. So make a conscious effort every single morning of giving yourself those fucks first and being much, much more guarded and protective and discerning and intentional about who gets those precious fucks of yours, because that's your life force. Your fucks are your life force. Go sign up for 3 days to make bank. You can swipe up or go to projectmewithtiffany.com/make bank. It's the only time I do this year. And there are a couple spots left for my exclusive 2-month private business coaching program. This is where you work with me privately. I coach both new entrepreneurs starting at zero who are wanting to scale to multiple 6 figures. And then I also have a separate private program for my established entrepreneurs who are wanting to scale to the millions. It's the same application, and you can, again, swipe up. That application is in the show notes. It's also inside my link in bio on Instagram. Go ahead and apply. Most exclusive way to work with me. And this would be that fastest way to the top of that mountain, right? And what is the catch? Yeah, you're going to have to pay more for that fastest way, for it to be completely customized to your goals, to exactly what you want and how you want to get there, and working with your lifestyle and working with your strengths. Everything is customized that we do inside that program, and it's designed to get you to either about $325,000 a year from people starting from zero. And then if you're past that point, We get much more granular on how we do things to get you scaling from the 7s to multiple 7 figures, because that's a different strategy once you get past about that 325,000 a year mark. It's a different strategy at that point, but again, it's the same application. Swipe up, links in bio for all the things. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.